Race fans know green, yellow, and checker. Today they're asked to recognize another flag. This flag connects us not only as fans, but as Americans. And although tracks around the country show their colors every weekend, Charlotte is where we pay tribute to those defending these colors. The 600 allows us to shift focus, if only for a moment, from a sport we love so dearly to something that truly matters. So today, during Memorial Day weekend, we salute those who serve our country and protect our freedom. Today, fans gather and unite as we remember our sacrifices. And while one of 43 will stand alone later, we all stand together now. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, is next on Speed.
It's a sign of freedom, Old Glory, the stars and stripes of the American flag. And today at the world epicenter of stock car racing, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, it is all about the freedom to compete and race in one of NASCAR's premier events, the Coca-Cola 600. But most importantly, today, we remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. We're glad you are here. Want to introduce the guys that are with us and all our fans out there.
Yes.
Love to have them. But Kenny Wallace, race car driver, number 28,
yes,
and Kyle Petty. Guys, this race always exceeds expectations. We always have a surprise towards the end and a lot of first-time winners.
Race fans, this is it. This is the Coke 600, the longest race we have. It is about man and machine. The fastest car rarely wins. It starts in the day. It ends in the night. Race fans, be ready, because this is a long, long journey.
This is a drama race, and it's just like Kenny said. This race starts, but it's 600 miles. It's 100 miles farther than anything that anybody else in any other division, in any form of motorsports run, and that's what makes this such a special race for NASCAR.
Such a special race and such a special weekend here on Memorial Day. No better place to celebrate it than the world's center of stock car racing, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's get you inside now and join Wendy and Hermie, who are manning the desk in the infield. Guys?
Well, thank you, Johnny. Yes, I want to say on behalf of Hermie and I, we are grateful for those that have fallen for our freedom on this Memorial Day weekend. We find ourselves right here in the middle of the garage area at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where the cars are going through tech inspection right behind us. And Hermie, this day is cool. We've spent 2 weeks at Charlotte Motor Speedway, which has been good because it's a homecoming and a home base for a lot of the teams. But the cool part is we are halfway to the chase as of today. The summer stretch is about to hit.
It really is, Wendy, and what a test this is to lead us into this summer stretch where we see drivers usually like Tony Stewart, Casey Kane, get on a run and make their way inside the top 12. If they do that, who's going to fall out of the chase? But it is a tough, tough test. It's hot today, but the cool thing is we talked about the teams being at home, family, friends, everybody's here to watch, and everybody wants to perform well because they're at home, but also because now is the time to start counting points, Wendy.
Absolutely, and the guys outside mentioned about this race of endurance, what's going to happen after today. Let's take a look first through 12th and who's in that top 12 right now. Kyle Busch, after his Dover win, that was 2 weeks ago, moved up to second.
Yeah, and Matt Kenseth, look at him. He's up to third. He climbed 2 spots after a third-place finish at Dover.
Jimmy Johnson dropped to fourth. That won't take long as we come into Charlotte today. And Jeff Burton moved up after his second-place finish at Dover.
And look at this Martin Truex Jr. He jumped up to the 12th spot at Dover.
And looking on back there, while Martin Truex finds himself in the top 12, look who's 13th through 20th. Tony Stewart moved up 4 spots to 14th. That was a big jump for Stewart.
Yeah, and the 88 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr., a lot of unhappy Junior fans. He fell 4 spots after a 30th place finish at Dover.
And I also have to point out David Rudiman in 20th. He is good here at Charlotte Motor Speedway this weekend and has moved up 4 spots to that 20th position. Now our points leader, Kevin Harvick, comes into Charlotte Motor Speedway obviously with the lead, but however, Happy Harvick is not usually really good at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, but I don't think, recent history really matters. There's so much stuff now that's different, Wendy. Different car, different generation tire, different circumstances. I think Kevin Harvick could just as easily as anybody else get up front and contain and hold on to his points lead tonight.
And that best finish, so second, came back in 2001. Now there's 2 cars that we're going to be watching tonight, and it seems like it's always teammates getting together. First it was Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. Now we have Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. Think back to the All-Star of what happened to their little on-track incident. Is it going to continue on for the Coke 600? We checked in with both Kyle and Denny and their teammates on their outlook on what happened at the All-Star race.
Kyle brings this stuff up on himself, and he gets mad at the media for asking him questions about his blow-ups and stuff, but he does it to himself. So I choose to, I'm trying to not get that at it. I don't want to be part of it. Any drama that he wants to create or anything is on him. Anything he says on the radio, it's on him. All I'm going to say, and I'm going to be done with it, is that, each year I think Kyle's going to grow out of it, and he just doesn't. And until he puts it all together, that's when he'll become a champion. And right now, he just doesn't have himself all together.
I'm a little dissatisfied with his quote about how I would have done the same thing, because you can't put words in a person's mouth, and I don't feel like I would have done the same thing. I race with respect, and I learned from Mark Martin and those guys. I had my bad points, but I feel like I've gotten better. And even though it is an all-star race, like I said, I was surprised by the fact that that happened. I don't think I typically run myself into the fence, so I think it was just due to the nature of the race.
He was never there. There was never a hole for his car to fit in. So it's he has a gas pedal and a brake just like I do, and he could choose to check up and pass me in the next corner, or put his car in the fence like what happened.
Ouch, teammates not at a loss for words. And is it going to continue on the racetrack? Hermie, here's the interesting part. They start nose to tail, 7th and 9th tonight.
Well, that's the way it normally happens, whether you're teammates or not. But these guys are so much alike, and they're really fighting not only for points, in prestige, but who's going to be the main character at Joe Gibbs Racing? Who's going to be the guy that carries the torch and kind of leads that organization? So you got 2 guys with feisty attitudes behind the wheel, and this is certainly not over. Now, this is a 600-mile race tonight, Wendy, so I don't think we'll see them racing like that in the first 100 miles, but I would be very interested to see if these guys start racing each other with 50, 75 miles to go tonight, what kind of give and take we have on the racetrack.
And now you put points into the picture with a championship on the line, Kyle Petty. I said it was water in the bridge. I said that this is not continuing on. Everyone else disagreed with me tonight. What's your opinion of it?
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you too, Andy. There's never water under the bridge with a driver. I found the comments that they both made very interesting. I found Denny's comments, and let me say this. I don't believe that Denny Hamlin did anything wrong in the All-Star race. I'm on Denny's side on this. I don't think there was a hole there for Kyle to get in. Kyle was forcing issues. Having said that, I think the comments that Denny made about Kyle, Denny could have made about himself about 2 or 3 years ago, and a lot of people did make comments about Denny exactly the same way. But Denny has matured. And I'm going to tell you something else. Watching that video, Kyle has matured beyond what a lot of people believe, too. He was a lot calmer. Now, he was mad when he got out of the car, but we all get mad when we get out of the car. He was a lot calmer about what was going on and the way everything was working.
And it's a nice twist of irony tonight that we have Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch starting right next to each other.
And one great thing about these drivers is that when you look at our sport right now, all the controversy we have had, we've had Jamie McMurray, Juan Pablo Montoya at Vegas. Now we have Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. They had their controversy. Jeff Gordon says, I'm tired of Jimmy beating me. Now you have another team where you have, both of these drivers fighting. And one thing in common, they're all 3 great race teams that have had wins. And another thing, they show more emotion when they lose. When they win, yeah, we won, spray champagne. But boy, when they lose, you'll get the biggest sound bites in the history of motorsports. We could have rolled the reel another 10 minutes. I lost. I'm going to beat you up, you know? So they show a lot of emotion when they lose.
Yeah, and ask any owner, he would probably rather have a guy that shows emotion when he loses than someone who doesn't care about losing. We got to take our first quick break here on NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot. But when we come back, three guys who have won a lot here. We have Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane, just to name a few.
Every driver remembers his first win, but some top dogs had to wait a little longer.
Winston Cup win, #1 in the Coca-Cola 600 for Wisconsin's Matt Kenseth.
100 miles longer to be exact. Who broke through in NASCAR's longest race? We'll reminisce. NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Brought to you in part by the General Automobile Insurance Services. For the best car insurance rates in town, call 1-800-GENERAL now. And by Best Buy. This graduation, give your grad a Best Buy gift card. Buy or be happy.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. If you're a marathon runner or a recently retired marathon runner, you know it takes endurance, skill, and a mental grasp of the event to win. And there is something about this 600-mile marathon of a race that provides an opportunity for first-time Sprint Cup racers.
It's been almost a half-century since David Pearson became the first driver to earn their first win in the Cup Series at Charlotte's 600-miler.
Those which survive must have everything working for them, including Lady Luck.
Even with Fireball Roberts coming on strong and racing on just 3 tires, the Silver Fox hobbled across the finish line to victory.
Pearson hangs on, and with sparks flying as he struggles down the home stretch a final time, takes the checkered flag.
David, I know you want to give credit where credit is due, and your pit crew is with you all the way through it. You want to name those gentlemen and give them a little credit.
I don't know them all.
The old saying is you came in on a wing and a prayer. What were your thoughts right then on that last lap?
I didn't think I'd make it. I didn't know how far I was ahead in front.
Since then, 5 more drivers would follow Pearson's lead. It would be another 33 years until a certain Hall of Famer began his laundry list of victories at the 600.
Gordon, right side tires so far. No effort on the left. Gordon did it with 2. Jeff Gordon seeking his first Winston Cup victory. Checkers are out, and it is Jeff Gordon victorious this evening on this Memorial Weekend at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
I'm speechless, man. I mean, this is the greatest day of my life.
Just 1 year later, it would be Bobby Labonte's turn.
Here's Bobby Labonte in his quest for his first Winston Cup victory. Oh! Wow! Bobby got him real good, that big time. Checkered flag is down, and the winner of the 1995 Coca-Cola 600 is Bobby Labonte.
In 2000, Matt Kenseth chalked up his first of 18 Sprint Cup wins.
Here he comes. Winston Cup win, #1 in the Coca-Cola 600 for Wisconsin's Matt Kenseth.
A rookie has won. Matt Kenseth has done it. Man, I can't believe how good our race car was. Like I said, one wish could come true right now. I wish my dad was here with me today to share in this moment, but I really have to thank the Lord for this great opportunity he's given me.
For the last 2 drivers to conquer the beast of the Southeast, it would be their only win.
Casey Mears is going to win his first Nextel Cup race, the Coke 600.
Thank you guys for my first win, man. Thank you.
Well, David Rudiman has won the Coca-Cola 600. David Rudiman has become the 6th Sprint Cup driver to score his first victory in the sport's longest race.
You don't envision, when you envision yourself winning your first Sprint Cup race, you know, you envision it a little bit different, but man, it's so hard to win these deals, so we just take them any way we get them.
Yeah, man, these things are so hard to win these days. You take them any way you can get them, especially whether it's 500, 400, 600 miles. It doesn't matter. Getting the win is getting the win. But you know what makes it so difficult this time around to see a first-time winner is, Kenny, there are so many winners in this field already.
Myself and Kyle Petty were sitting there looking at the list earlier, and we're like, there's only about 5 or 6 people that have not won a Cup race. Kyle, I think our sport is more competitive today than it's ever been.
Yeah, you know, you talk about, we always like to say, you know, that we've got the greatest drivers in the world in this division, at this level. And when you looked at it, Kenny and I were going over it, something like 27 or 28 guys in the race today have single wins or multiple wins. You know, you go through that. Guys here that got their first win, Pearson, Kenseth, Labonte, Gordon. These guys went on to be multiple champions, too. That's the funny part about it. So Charlotte is a tough place to break your first win. But if you can get it here, by God, the future looks good for you.
Yeah, and I'd like to sum this whole deal up. I remember, you know, 8, 10 years ago, there was always this thing, well, we're looking for talent. We can't find enough talent to fill the Sprint Cup Series. Race fans, car owners, drivers, everybody, there's plenty of talent. Because look through the list. 28 drivers in today's race, only 43 started, are winners. We have the talent in NASCAR today.
Well, some of that talent in NASCAR today got their start in the Legends cars, racing right here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And when you're speaking about first-time events, this definitely is a first-time event as well. The $1 million event is July 14th through 17th, or 15th through 17th, rather, at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. To find out more, visit uslegendcars.com for more information. And Wendy is standing by with one guy who's racing and the other guy who's paying.
Thanks, Johnny. In July, a very cool event is going to take place called the Legends Million. Marcus Smith, this is a grassroots effort with the Legends car races, a cool $1 million on the line for a lot of these guys that are actually right here in our backyard, and as far as 4 foreign countries away have already entered.
It's really amazing, Wendy. I think we've got an awesome race. When you consider the kids that have come from Legends racing are now the big guys and the young guns in Sprint Cup Series, guys like Joey Logano started in Bandoleros and Legends cars. So we're giving a little incentive for everybody to get involved, and $250,000 to win that race, the Legend Million. It's going to be quite an incentive to get people involved.
All right, thanks to Marcus. And one of those guys already entered is Jeff Bodine, a familiar face and name, of course. But the neat thing about you, Jeff, is that you've decided if you win, your donation is going to a very good cause.
When I win, yes, that's $250,000 is going to Alzheimer's in Florida, Brevard County. That's a terrible disease that a generation of our society is suffering with, and they need a lot of help. And so this is a great way to reach out and help them.
All right, well, good luck to you on that. And that race, July 15th through 17th, Johnny, the Legends Million, almost 200 entries already, and they are expecting more as the month goes on.
I bet they'll get a lot more with that much money on the line. That's going to be a great event right here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. When we come back to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, we will talk to one veteran racer who was a veteran of one of America's biggest battles. And also, there's some airmen checking out the car of Elliott Sadler, number 19, getting ready to run tonight. Stick around, everybody.
We've always thought he's the perfect thespian. Rutt joins the cast of Heaven on Wheels as they put their own spin on NASCAR's history. Nice outfit. Nice moves, Twinkle Toes. Coming at you, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
Well, everybody has their own personal idea about what or where heaven actually is. But for a car guy like Rutledge Wood, he finds his heaven on wheels. And you know, NASCAR, the garage is full of drama, but Rutledge found some drama in a local theater.
You know, it's not every day that someone writes a musical play about NASCAR, especially one that goes from past to present. But today at the Actors Theater in Charlotte, North Carolina, this, my friends, is Heaven on Wheels. So, Peter, you wrote Heaven on Wheels. What was your inspiration here?
Well, I had a good friend of mine who got me involved with the project, Tally Sessions, and he loved stock car racing. And about a dozen years ago, he said, let's do a musical about stock car racing. And I said, you're crazy. how can we get them on stage? You know, it'll cost a fortune, you know.
Well, you guys do so many cool songs, and there's a lot of great dancing, a lot of great music.
Yeah.
How hard was it to write songs about some of the things? Because it's not the easiest thing ever.
Well, you know, the songs were easier than the script because they had to have all the facts and figures checked and double-checked.
In this scene, I will be playing the role of Tim Flock, and Maya, one of the stars of the show. Well, if I'm Tim Flock, what would that make you?
Jocko Flocko, the monkey that is his pet.
Oh, that's right. He had a pet monkey he used to drive with. Well, I mean, you're not really dressed like a monkey. Do you have like a monkey suit?
Mm-hmm.
Could I see a little bit of the monkey? If I'm indeed Tim Flock, I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like you should, look like a monkey. So this is one of the actors, Kyle. And Kyle, you play some legendary parts in this show.
I do. I actually play Curtis Turner, Tim Flock, Marvin Patch. Got a lot of quick changes. Works out pretty well.
Well, for the King and everybody here at the Actors Theater, we've had so much fun. I hope you enjoyed Heaven on Wheels. You got to get down here and see it, and we will see you next time.
I don't know what to say. Let me say something. You can't put a 10-gallon head in a 4-gallon helmet, and that's what I'm trying to do right there. That was a good piece. Those people worked really hard on that. I hate that they had to put up with Rutledge to do it, but Rutledge did a really good part. Rutledge is kind of, he would blend in down there. I think they had that little Jocko Flocko thing mixed up. Rutledge should have been the monkey, and she should have been Tim Flock. Okay?
I think they should move this plate to the Hall of Fame since we're talking about Curtis Turner, Fireball Roberts, Freddie Lorenzen. Take the plate, put it in the Hall of Fame, and let's watch it.
But Rutledge can't be in the Hall of Fame.
No.
He doesn't qualify.
He could try.
When we come back, a guy who had a Hall of Fame style night, that was Kurt Busch. He's going to join us, but there's Rut. Rut, you're dancing, man. Doing good. How much glue went into that hairdo?
While we got plenty of guys that keep the fans happy nowadays, we'll tell you about NASCAR's original Golden Boy and someone who knew their way around Victory Lane at CMS. Around the Turn, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
Looking for a stock car fantasy game? Log on to speedfantasyracing.com and register now for the new summer series that starts with the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. Create your own group or play overall to win prizes. Grand cash prize has doubled for the summertime. Now, we're going to be playing along with you, the fans, with a group of drivers that we have picked so far this weekend out of our A, B, and C picks. And take a look at the guys we have. We have Jimmy Johnson out of the A group, Juan Pablo, fastest in the first practice the other day, and also Casey Mears, who is doing a fantastic job filling in for Brian Vickers in that number 83. Once again, this Coke 600 starts the summer season of fantasy racing, so go online and get involved with us. Now, there are many people who have many reasons to smile after last weekend, but perhaps none more than Kurt Busch. He has a million reasons to smile because after 9 tries, he is an all-star winner.
No championship points to worry about. This is an all-out dash for the cash.
And here they come, Vermillion to win.
Be ready. Finger green. Kurt Busch selected the outside lane for the start. He made the right choice. He surges around Joey Logano to the lead.
Oh, Jeff Gordon in the wall. I mean, he knocked the fire out of it.
I nailed the freaking wall. 10-4, just take care of it. We got to get through this first 50. Just monkey dogs are wave by. We got all night.
Kurt's got him. He got him off a 2 over there. That high line is prevailing, baby.
We are halfway through the Sprint All-Star race.
Get ready. Ready, finger game. There you go. You're
David Bruton with a double-zero did not get a good restart at all.
Jimmy is ahead right now of Jamie McMurray by almost a full 2 seconds.
Caution flag is out. It's the end of the second segment of tonight's All-Star race, so that means once again pit road is open.
We've already seen what Jimmy's got, and he's got a lot, and I've got to get to him.
Be ready. Stay out, stay out, stay out, stay out.
Johnson. Whoa!
All kinds
Dart and dive, and that's it.
Save gas, brother. Save gas.
Kurt Busch in the safer barrier, and he's fading. He's dropping and losing spots now off the corner.
He's been flirting with this thing all night long. Finally gets in it,
out of it.
Johnson, up by 2 seconds, is still the quickest car on the racetrack.
Yeah, he just consistently got a 10th in the bank, maybe more when he needs it.
Fire the wall, 2 of them hard.
Wreck behind you. Wreck behind you. Caution is out.
This changes everything.
Everything. Somebody better keep me away from Denny Hamlin after this race. I had this race won. It was won.
I know, bud. We're saying the same thing, bud.
There's Kyle Busch climbing out.
This is going to be a very unhappy young man right here, by the way.
That's actually the 11 hauler he's walking up into.
Green flag. 3 laps to go.
The last thing I would want to do is give that 48 a second chance, and he's got his second chance.
Get it. Yeah, buddy. Go get him, brother.
Well, there goes Johnson. Jimmy will steer to the infield fast.
Wreck it behind you. Wreck it behind you. Keep digging. Keep digging. Well, sorry, guys. Got to get that grub cleaned off real good, guys. Things going to start over pretty quick. We're done, dude.
Kurt Busch brings him down with Joey Logano on the front row. Let's try it again to finish it off. Green flag for $1 million.
One more time. Bring it to the line, Big Daddy. Awesome work.
Kurt Busch gets the victory and $1 million.
Kurt Busch is still on top. Way to go, boys. Woo! $1 million coins, baby.
Well, that's what it's all about right there. 10 laps, $1 million. How was that night for you guys? And has it sunk in yet that finally you're an all-star winner?
Man, it has sunk in. It's been great with all of the calls, the people, and of course our sponsors. Everybody's so excited at Miller Lite and from Dodge, and just to have a big week like that and then to come right back to the same racetrack. We got different conditions today, but just all week long we've been on a high. We qualified well, so we'll start outside pole tonight and see how things shake in.
One thing that me watching the race last week that should bode well for you tonight is you guys weren't perfect early on in the all-star race, but for those last 10 laps, you guys made some changes and your car reacted to those changes, and that's a difficult thing to nail sometimes when you're chasing it and to hit it exactly right at the right time of night.
Yeah, this car, it always seems a bit finicky. Seems like the good teams that can make their cars better always end up right up front. And if you're struggling to make your car better during the race, you're not going to be able to get the track position. You know, you're going to be up against the wall all night fighting harder. So hopefully tonight things go smooth for us. We got a good starting position, a good pit box, and the driver's got to stay calm, and we'll get through it. So we'll get to that final segment and hopefully let her rip.
We talk about it a lot. Last question about how difficult this race is because of the start time and going to the night. As a driver, what do you look for the first half of the race? Because you got to hang in there. You can't lose all your track position, but what is your goals in this first 300 miles, or where would you like to be when we get to the halfway point?
Yeah, you break the race down into quarters with 100 laps here, 100 laps there. I always look for sundown. When the track goes completely into the shade or into darkness, that's when you really start to step it up. But maybe I'll just dangle this out in front of the car like a carrot and chase this Vortex model down all night. This is a big boy here. We'll ice this one down, and we'll have it after the race. So that's my motivation.
Well, a lot of momentum with this race team. A big win for them last week, and we talk about it a lot, JR. Momentum and confidence is very big in this sport. The two bunch has it going into tonight's race.
Yeah, you know, Hermie, when you take a break from points racing, it's still a pretty serious all-star event because there's $1 million on the line, but also, as you guys said, momentum. A win is a win is a win. Look at what it did for Tony Stewart last year, and look at what it's appearing to do for the number 2 this year.
Well, I'm laughing because, you know, when you win the all-star race, it's momentum for the 600. But, boy, when you have something that happened to Kyle Busch and you know, and Denny Hamlin, well, that was the all-star race. It was only a 10-lapper. So we always want things to be the way we want them to be. We want to justify to make ourselves feel better. And I can tell you what, I love that all-star race, Kyle. Yeah. I mean, it was a great finish.
It was a great finish. It was a very dramatic race. When you looked at last week's race, you know, Kurt Busch, he won the first part, or ran great in the first segment, got dropped back in the second, dropped back farther in the third, made an adjustment, wins the thing, and everybody's like, he came from nowhere. Well, he won the first segment, and he was competitive. It's funny, don't you think? One week, Kurt Busch is racing for $1 million, and now he's racing for a beer, because that's what he said right there. So, you got to love this sport, man.
That's a very expensive beer, but nonetheless, it has the new top on it, or whatever Kurt was talking about. We got to take a quick break here, but when we come back to NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot, we'll have the winningest active driver here at Charlotte, and one driver who got a lot of notoriety for his hairdo earlier in this season. He's about to win a race here anytime soon as well. Concord, North Carolina is the home of the Charlotte Motor Speedway, but it's also the county seat of Cabarrus County, North Carolina, the 4th largest city in the Charlotte metro area. It was named an All-American city back in 2004. It is home to more than 60,000 residents, but this weekend it becomes home to about 180,000 residents. And there you got to look at the historic district on Union Street. Very pretty place to drive through on your way in or out of this Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, so far this season, everybody's been talking about Clint Boyer's hair, whether they like it or dislike it. But you know what? There's a lot more important things going on with Clint Boyer right now. And Hermie Sadler, he is edging closer and closer to a victory lane near you.
Hey, he really is. And first of all, we want to wish Clint Boyer happy birthday. And check out the cool cake we got here at the back of the hauler. And hopefully Clint will be willing to share that with us when we get done. But happy birthday to you today. How old are you?
31, the dreaded 31. So, you know, getting old, going to have to start growing up here one of these days.
Oh, no, you got plenty of time for that. And they were telling me, I guess all of your brothers, y'all's birthday, y'all's ages relate to the Richard Childress Racing cars. Like one might be 31, one 29, and right on down the line. So numbers may be adding up for you tonight.
That's right, that's right. Yeah, going back to the cake, you know, it's always fun to have a sponsor like Cheerios that's behind you, you know, and always makes awesome cakes. I got a little hungry. I think somebody else did and ate. Poor Lefty, he's having trouble. He's going fingerless quick. But, you know, it's just an awesome weekend to be. I slept in my own bed last night and the night before the race. That's about a first of all year. So just excited about it. We're qualifying 10th. Fun, important race right here in your own backyard. And it's Coca-Cola 600. So that's another, you know, being a part of the Coca-Cola racing family. It's important.
I know you want to top this birthday off with a win. Question is, how do you do it? All you guys were good in practice also.
Yeah, absolutely. Our RCR cars wasn't the best last week in the All-Star race. Proud of the guys that went home, dug deep, found some fixes, and our cars are all fast. You're going to have a lot of adjustability built into the race car. It's going to be a long night. See how this cloud cover comes in and out. You know, yesterday, one thing we learned, man, I tell you, we knew that this track was sensitive, but when this thing, sun come down on it, the track would really go away quick, and your car would be slipping, sliding around. But on into the night, you got to be able to adjust for that, be anticipating it, and be ready for it. And if you are, I think you'll be all right.
Well, a lot of people do a lot of different things to prepare for 600 miles. My buddy Clint Boyer is Coca-Cola and cake. We'll see how it works out for him tonight. Wendy?
Well, no Coca-Cola and cake for Jimmy Johnson right now, but he does know a thing or two about getting around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Jimmy, you've won here 6 times. What do you think is the key to your domination here?
Well, first of all, you gotta like the racetrack, and same with your team and everybody that's working on the race car. And our team does that. Hendrick Motorsports has had a lot of success over the years here. And then you really just have to move with the punches throughout the night, or roll with the punches. The track changes so much, as it's been well documented. The line now is much different than what we've ever seen in the past, where a lot of guys are running the top. So you've just got to put it all together over the course of the night. And then I think a part you can't overlook is what goes on pit road. With 600 miles, the additional pit stops, the opportunities to come in and work on your car, there's a lot that's going to take place there tonight as well.
Talk about that line and moving it around. We discussed this earlier in our meeting this morning, that everybody used to be on the bottom. Now it tends to move around up high. How comfortable do you have to get your car on all levels of the racetrack then?
You know, I think when they resurfaced this track, they noticed some things that the asphalt was doing over time, and it actually, Jeff Gordon was a part of that process. Jeff was telling me that the track started to crown in the center from the weight of the asphalt, and the banking kind of made a crown where we really didn't have an outside lane to work with. And I believe the track took that into consideration and made some adjustments so that the asphalt wouldn't do that, and it's now given us that opportunity. And in some cases, if your car is driving real bad on the bottom, sometimes if you open the steering wheel up some and let it kind of have its head around the top of the track, it's easier to drive. So I think with the changes they've made to the track surface when they resurfaced it, it's allowed us to move around the track. And now there's a little bit of grip that's at the very top that everybody's trying to find. And it's almost as if you're at Darlington rim riding this racetrack at certain points.
How much did you learn from the All-Star race, and how much is your car relating to that, even though this is really a race of endurance tonight?
We think we learned a lot, but through yesterday's practice session, some things seem to kind of work opposite. So it's still racing, it still gets confusing, it's still difficult, and we're ready for it. We feel we've got a great race car, a solid, comfortable race car that I can drive for 600 miles, and we need to be there, you know, in that top 4 or 5 on the last restart and have a shot at this thing.
All right, stay hydrated and stay cool, Jimmy. Johnny, it's Jimmy Johnson, starts 5th and was 5th in happy hour. He has a good race car tonight at Charlotte.
Wendy, thanks a lot. And they certainly had a great race car in the All-Star race, but this is what it is, being a victim of your own success as a 4-time champion. Jimmie Johnson has won 3 races this season. He's 4th in points, yet people are still saying, man, what's wrong with the 48? Man, they just can't close a deal. Is there anything wrong with them?
No. There's nothing wrong with them because they're still dominating races. They dominated Dover, and Kyle Busch wins. They dominate the All-Star race, and Kurt Busch wins. They're dominating races. When they won, and I said this early in the year, that out of the first 2 or 3 races they won, it was a team win. Chad made great calls. They were great pit stops. Jimmy won Bristol. Let's just be honest. Yeah. He just kicked butt at Bristol. Yeah. But, those races were team wins. Now that it's come down to where they're dominating and it's the driver in the car that's capable of winning races, they're not. So they're in a little bit of a funk. But, my God, you're 4th in points. How big a funk are you in?
I think it's great that people are stunned. So, people at their homes are like, he didn't win? Oh, he's done.
Oh, no.
I mean, the last month, that's the only way I can talk. I mean, in the media, people, news and print, they're writing Johnson not closing deal. It's because we're stunned. See, we're trained monkeys. They train us. Okay.
Just like Rutledge.
Okay, Jimmie Johnson wins. Jimmie Johnson wins. What do you mean Jimmie Johnson didn't win? He's supposed to win. Let's write an article. He's great. He's great. There's nothing wrong with Jimmie Johnson.
Great point.
All right, so these guys have spoken. They say there's nothing wrong with the 48 team, and it doesn't look that way as of right now, especially that they're at one of their favorite tracks. And you know what? Coming up in fantasy picks, the 48 might be a good one to go for. Racing at Charlotte is no day at the beach, but we'll be back here for a long race when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. It is time for our Sunoco Performance Picks, and we break our season up here into thirds. And, if you're interested, race fans, you'd like to have an official Sunoco Racing fuel can, just visit speedtv.com, Sunoco, for entry details, official rules, and drawing dates. We're broken up into thirds. We have finished up the first third of our fantasy picks. And you know what? KP, Kyle Petty, was the winner. Even as a rookie, kicked everybody's rear end. But now we have a whole new summer season going on. You can play along with us, but here on the show, we're just going to pick our winners. And then on the online game, we're going to pick all 3. But that's not important for right now. What is important right now is KP, you're the champion.
We're going to divide it up into thirds, but we're going to call it quarters.
Congratulations.
Okay.
You're the champion.
Yeah. Can we do that?
How much money?
Hey, you can do whatever you want,
I won nothing.
You're the winner.
Here's my pick. My pick is Denny Hamlin. These guys have been on a roll. The Gibbs organization, I thought Denny had a great car last week, so I went with Denny Hamlin. Wendy, who did you go with this time? Give me somebody.
Well, Kyle, with our new rules and our new game, I'm going on the record saying Denny Hamlin is going to win tonight. But, of course, we don't pick the same drivers, the new rules, so who am I going with? I'm going with the next best car of Casey Kane. And with this Armed Forces paint scheme, check it out, race fans. How can you go against the Budweiser Ford on Memorial Day weekend? Johnny?
So my question to you, Wendy, is how can you go against a 4-time champion that's hungry for a victory? He's got 5 victories at this racetrack, 3 in the Coke 600. It was his first win, and it's going to be his next win. We're going with the 24 of Jeff Gordon, the original 4-time.
Ooh.
Who's next?
Good pick.
Hermie Sadler's next.
Well, guys, when you're trying to pick somebody who's going to win a race, you look at, how they're running on the racetrack, and a lot of things in consideration. But this guy behind me, the 42 car, Juan Pablo Montoya. I see that's a fan favorite out there at the stage, boys. I like it. But listen, this guy has been fast. He's been a fast race car week after week. I'm ready for him to break out and win several races, and I think the first of those will be tonight here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Kenna?
And I'm going with the driver that everybody thinks he's having problems with because I'm rebellious. I like to go against the grain. So the winner is Jimmie Johnson. He has 6.
Oh, boy, Kenny, that's really going against the
listen
grain.
back there. Go.
6 wins for Jimmie Johnson here. He's the winningest driver this year, 3 wins. Who's tied with him? Anybody? Kyle Busch?
Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin's got 3 wins.
Denny Hamlin.
Jimmie Johnson. Okay, Freddie, you're next.
No, you're last, Kenny. There's no dude after you.
There's no Freddie after me?
No, there's nobody after you.
Okay, Freddie, you're next. I'm last. I don't like being last.
Yeah, we all like to pick on Rutledge Wood, say he's got the easiest job in the world, but guess what? He gets revenge on us. Guess who he gets to interview in a moment?
Yes.
Well,
that
more
was
on that.
Not her.
Coming up. Yeah, it was. That was Jessica Biel.
That's her. Look
and she's
at her.
hanging out with Rutledge, too. We're back to NASCAR Race Day in a moment. Welcome back to Race Day, everyone. Charlotte is the largest city in the state of North Carolina, home to several major sports teams and facilities like the Carolina Panthers Stadium, where the team plays their home games, the NASCAR Hall of Fame. beautiful, state-of-the-art Hall of Fame building that we suggest everybody goes by and visits. Charlotte Bobcats, this city is home to 2.4 million residents, and on this race weekend, they get a couple 100,000 more in here as the fans flock to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. You know, it's the goal of many people when they start a professional sports career, and that's to go out on top, to retire at the peak of their game. Very few accomplish that, but Fred Lorenzen was one NASCAR driver who got pretty close.
In today's high-profile world of NASCAR racing, it's commonplace to see young, fresh faces at the front of the field. An era many believe can be attributed to Jeff Gordon's arrival in NASCAR's Premier Series back in 1992. But with all of his success, Gordon was not NASCAR's original fresh face.
Freddie Lorenzen, who will be in a Ford today, the top NASCAR money winner last year.
Here comes Lorenzen, number 28. They keep an eye on him.
Fred Lorenzen, the new breed of Monday morning sports heroes.
Fred Lorenzen didn't fit the look of a stereotypical driver when he entered NASCAR in 1956. He was young, handsome, and, being from Chicago, was not one of the good old boys from the South. Besides all that, he was good. Teaming up with Ford's Holman and Moody operation in the early 1960s, Lorenzen was an instant success.
We perfected it. I had a great crew, Herb Nebb, Wayne Mills, and mechanics. They're the best in the country. Holman Moody, John Holman, Ralph Moody. The best there was. I had the best of everything. Ford Motor Company. When you got it all, it's easier to do.
Fans called him the Golden Boy, which ruffled the feathers of grizzled veterans like Curtis Turner. But Lorenzen refused to back down, and it all came to a head at Darlington in a 1961 convertible race, a moment he had long dreamed of.
Ralph Moody said before the race, he says, look out for Turner. He says, near the end, if he's near you, he'll put you right through the wall to win the race. He was right. We went battle all day, back and forth. So we're coming off the turn 4 for the white flag, and Turner comes up alongside me and pushed me into the wall. On the backstretch, he tried it again. That was my biggest win and everything that was it.
In 1963, Lorenzen became the first NASCAR driver to earn more than $100,000 in a single season. In 1965, he achieved his most notable victory by taking the checkered flag in the first rain-shortened Daytona 500. Later that year, Lorenzen totally dominated to win his second World 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway in 3 years. But it was a breathtaking duel between Lorenzen, A.J. Foyt, and Dick Hutcherson in the fall race at Charlotte that left race fans speechless.
There they are, as if they're welded together in some sort of a precision movement.
Well, I wouldn't want to be the guy on the outside coming off.
Say it is, Lorenzen is the middle man in that three-car sample.
Just another race was to me. I just wanted to win it. It was good. They were all good drivers, boy. It was a tough job.
However, Lorenzen was haunted by the memory of Fireball Roberts' fatal accident at Charlotte in 1964.
I was going down the front stretch, going into turn 1, and he's fighting with a couple other drivers, you know, back and forth, and it's early in the race. And Herb Nebb, my chief mechanic, puts me on the board, cool it. Let drop back, so I dropped back, got out of the smoke of all the, because there's 500-600 miles to go. And all of a sudden the caution comes out, and he's upside down the backstretch. So he was fighting with 2 other drivers back and forth. And that sort of, when he died, that just ended for the racing for me.
Lorenzen, a 2-time World 600 winner, announced his retirement a few weeks ago.
At the age of 33, Lorenzen retired in 1967, while still at the peak of his career.
Yep, I retired too early. I just got burned out traveling. Because see, Fireball was my God hero when I was growing up. And when he died, racing died inside me. It just wasn't the same anymore.
Fast Freddie returned for a short time in 1970, but fell far short of the glory he had once known. He retired for good in 1972 and returned to Illinois, finding great success in the real estate industry. For many that would follow in his footsteps, Fred Lorenzen created the mold for the modern NASCAR driver.
It is a very difficult thing to retire at the top of your game, but here's some drivers that did it. A lot of people say Rusty Wallace did it as well. He was a championship contender when he left the sport, but look at Ned Jarrett. Age at last race was 34 after 50 wins. That's a lot of winning in a little bit of time.
Yeah, these guys, they look to other sports. They really didn't know when to retire. And you look at Freddie, and I think Freddie said it there. You know, when Fireball was killed, it took the wind out of a lot of people's sails. And it was a different sport. Let's go back and think about when Dale Earnhardt Sr. was killed and how it took the wind out of this sport. From a driver's perspective, this was a sport of life and death for these guys. It was a game, don't get me wrong, and it was fun, and they all had a good time. But they never knew when they dropped the green flag if all of them were going to go home that afternoon. It was a different sport then. And these guys looked at it, and they said, I've done everything I wanted to do by 35, 36, 37. That's what baseball players are doing. That's what other athletes are doing. That's what they did. They modeled it. Now you've got guys like Mark Martin that go to 51, 52. You had Richard Petty that went a long time. You had these guys that extended their careers and were still competitive. So it's just a different time and a different sport today.
You have a lot of great drivers that I talk to, and I don't get to share this much, but they say, look, if I cannot be in the best equipment, I don't want to race anymore. Ricky Craven, okay? I talked to Dale Earnhardt one time after he won a Bud shootout race, and he said, Herman, he said, I had a fast horse, and I rode it. Listen to Freddie Lorenzen, what he said. He said, I had the best of everything. Best crew chief, best sponsor. So the moral of the story is, it's easier to retire when you have the best of everything and you understand that you must have the best to win. Freddie Lorenzen said it best, Dale Earnhardt, you must have the best to be a champion.
Well, some of the best in the business, the 43 drivers that are starting this Coke 600 tonight, are heading into the drivers' meeting right now. We're getting closer and closer to green flag time, and also here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, they put on one heck of a salute to the military. We'll be back in just a moment.
We all know the Intimidator could run through just about anybody to get to victory lane.
Oh, and Earnhardt spins him out.
But did his reputation almost keep him from checkered back in '93?
Let's see what NASCAR is going to do here.
Earnhardt came over the radio, guys. He said he never touched him.
We'll show you the call that nearly ruined Seniors Day. Straight ahead, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
The Charlotte Motor Speedway is in the heart of NASCAR country. This weekend, it's home to NASCAR's longest race, the Coke 600, a test of man and machine. But last weekend, it was all about the money, and it was Kurt Busch who brought home the big money. After 9 tries, he finally won an all-star event, and he will start on the outside of row number 1 tonight. Great starting place for a long race. All the talk this week has been about driver number 11, Denny Hamlin, and his run-in with teammate Kyle Busch. And is that feud behind? Everybody saw what happened on the racetrack. Everybody heard what the two drivers had to say afterwards. And tonight, they will start nose to tail in the line. The Queen City of the South is Charlotte, North Carolina. It is home to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, the Carolina Panthers, and is also known as the hub of NASCAR because about 9 out of 10 race teams call this place their home, and hometown bragging rights are on the line here in the hub of NASCAR.
All roads lead to Charlotte. Like Canton, Cooperstown, or Springfield, it's where sport took its first steps. Daytona is NASCAR's Mecca. Charlotte is its manger. The soul of NASCAR is a city marked by independence. of 1960 drove the civil rights movement. Junior Johnson took the back roads to Charlotte. Tom Wolfe's last American hero ran moonshine in Wilkes County before trading in a checkered past for the checkered flag. For Dale Earnhardt, the only way out of the Carolina cotton mill town of Kannapolis was a red clay dirt track. In time, the Intimidator would match Petty's mark of 7 cups. On the road to Charlotte, a Cotton Town kid can become the man, and a man can become king. It's where the hometown Panthers sport Petty blue and Intimidator black. And train wreck hits punctuate both the gridiron and starting grid. North Carolina is where the Wright brothers first took flight, and Michael Jordan first took to the air. And in a town where driving the lane meets the intersection of Victory Lane and the road to the playoffs, hoop dreams and racing dreams are one and the same. The road to Charlotte is traveled by steel-eyed men saddled to iron horses, driving at twice the speed as one of Carolinian Catfish Hunter's Hall of Fame fastballs. And like the great American pastime, America's motorsport isn't about hitting and running in circles. Every lap, like every base, is another link in the chain, rounding toward the plate. It's an odyssey marked by momentous wins and immutable loss. For the history of racing has also been marked by moments sobering to the soul. Lest we forget, the path to victory is guided by angels. Charlotte is NASCAR's hometown. Whether Trade and Tryon or Tobacco Road, Independence Boulevard, Wilkinson Boulevard, or the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, the road to Daytona, the road to the Cup, or the road to redemption, all roads lead to Charlotte. All roads lead home.
And this truly is home for many of us. I'd say about 80% of the crew members and of the drivers, they live here within this area of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. More specifically, where we're located in Concord, North Carolina, there's Mooresville, which is a big hub for race teams. The advantage of being home at Charlotte Motor Speedway, check this out. The 16 crew members, for one example, they get to bring their family members. Not many times do the family members get a chance to come to the racetrack and see their spouses in action. Well, here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, 2 times a year, they get to come and join in on the fun. There's a ton of fans here, which makes it a great fun day. And Johnny, I have to say, the 90-degree temperatures, it has not scared anyone today. It's beautiful weather here in Concord, North Carolina. We're going to have a great night of racing.
Wendy, it's exactly what you'd expect at this time of year in Concord, North Carolina. Beautiful weather, a little bit hot, but you know what? When the sun goes down, it's going to be the action out on the racetrack that is going to be the thing that is really hot. When we come back, we'll have a visit from the Rocket Man, and we'll also take a look back at the man they call the Intimidator. Stay with us, everyone. More to come from Charlotte Motor Speedway on Coke 600 night. Let's take a look at the highlights from the Nationwide Series race last night. Here was dodging a little bit of raindrops throughout the day, but not a problem. And a little bit of problem to begin with, Kenny Wallace, for Kyle Busch. Went 2 laps down.
Tire issues for Kyle Busch, but then he gets caught for speeding on pit road. He went 2 laps down.
Now, Kyle Busch 2 laps down is dangerous because he's going to start running hard. And just how hard was Kyle running? Well, there was going to be no denying him.
No, and you see right here, Kyle's in lap traffic. Here's the 38 car of Casey Kane. Now, these 2 guys are the class of the field, and they've got about a 9-second lead, or Casey Kane did at the time on the second-place guy.
But mechanical issues would be Casey Kane's problem a little bit later on in the race.
Yeah, Casey ran and had basically ran away with it and had lapped up all the way to 9th or 10th place. But Casey had a battery go dead. Casey had to pit. When Casey pitted, it put 8 or 10 cars. You see him coming down pit road right here. It put another 2 or 3 cars back on the lead lap, which gave Kyle that little bit of a cushion. Kyle raced back into the race.
And Kyle was like a cup car against a nationwide car. He was just slicing and dicing. Here's Brad Keselowski finishing second.
Not a bad finish for him, but the great finish of the night was Kyle Busch again, went 2 laps down and battled his way back. And yeah, you see the smile on his face there, knowing he dodged a bullet to take yet another Nationwide Series win. BK22 is on top of the Nationwide Series points after 12 of the 36 races, but look at how close Kyle Busch is, just 1 point behind.
And because I am the mayor of the Nationwide Series, I want to give a call to Justin Allgaier. He's the full-time Nationwide driver.
So if you double dip this weekend, it means you got a lot to do. You got to be in shape because you got to run 900 tough miles on this racetrack. Look at all the drivers that are going for the double dip this weekend, include the Biff, Boyer, Kyle Busch trying to make the weekend sweep, as well as Logano, Michael McDowell, McMurray, among others. Too many to name doing double duty this weekend. So now let us go to one of those double duty drivers, who is Home Depot driver Joey Logano, for our Home Depot Hot Lap.
Hey, I'm Joey Logano with your Home Depot Hot Lap. This week we're here at Charlotte. 600 miles. That's the big deal here. That's going to be pretty cool. Me personally, I've never made the 600 miles. We got rain shortened last year, so I'm pretty pumped up about it. It's going to be a long race. You really need to prepare yourself the best you can. You know, whether it's as much rest as you can. For me, I get hungry usually with 150 laps to go, so I'm gonna have a little bit more. So I'm gonna have to really eat a lot and you know, hydrate. All that stuff is really a big deal for the 600-mile race. A lot of things will be going on inside the race car. You know, you see a lot of guys go forward and backwards throughout the race. You know, as it goes from day to night, there's gonna be a lot of changes there, so we have to be on our A game for that. And cool things, we're here at Charlotte. There's a lot of fans here, and you know, there's a lot of things going down in the city with Speed Street and the Hall of Fame, and you know, being home. That's a big deal for the teams and the drivers and everything. Is having family around here and stuff like that. So that's one of the cool things about being here at Charlotte. So that's your Home Depot Hot Lap.
Thanks, Joe. You know, there's a reason they call Ryan Newman the Rocket Man or Mr. Friday, because he's always so good in qualifying, used to sitting on the pole. But Hermie Sadler, this pole position is not just another one for Ryan Newman. It's a little bit of history as well.
It really is. He's breaking the history, making history, and hopes to break history. Another pole here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations. A great job on Thursday night.
Thanks, but I thought I heard the ice cream truck. Did you hear the ice cream truck?
I did hear that, yeah.
That got me excited. No, it was a great run Thursday night for the U.S. Army Chevrolet to get that pole, and 400 more times I got to do it, I guess. But you know, it's a demanding race. I'm sure you guys are talking about it, but you know, it's hot out, and we got a best starting spot. We got some clean air on the nose, get some cool air to the driver, and we'll be good.
What is it about you? Because obviously a lot of stuff has changed. The cars, the tires, the racetrack's been paved and everything else, and you seem to find a way to qualify up front. What is it about this racetrack that you tend to make, you know, get you on top of it every time it comes time to qualify?
I really like the banking. I like the speed. You know, the guys give me good, fast race cars, and that makes a huge difference. You know yourself, you can only push it so hard, and if it doesn't have the potential, then you can't make it happen. And I've been blessed with great race cars at this racetrack, and just a lot of fun. We just, you know, we haven't had quite the recipe for making it go for 400 miles, or 400 laps rather. We've been there for 400 miles, but making it for 400 laps and be there at the end, that's what we got to make happen tonight.
And a special day too, the U.S. Army car on the pole for this Memorial Day race, and you've got a lot of special guests with you, I'm sure, this weekend.
Yeah, we do. There's a lot of great soldiers. We got some wounded warriors, and have a Coke salute to them. So it's really special, and it's an honor to represent the U.S. Army, and I'll just do my best. That's what I always tell them I'll do.
Well, he's racing for a lot of people, a special day, a great qualifying run. He hopes to turn that into a big win here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Johnny?
Hermie, thanks a lot. Starting up front is a good thing because we saw in the All-Star race how good that first pit selection was, so better keep an eye on the Rocket Man tonight. And next Friday, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series stampedes into the Lone Star State, and we're there for a gunslinging, wheel-to-wheel, Wild West shootout. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live from Texas next Friday at 8:30 Eastern, only on Speed. This Memorial Day weekend is all about remembering the fighting men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice, their life, fighting for our freedom. And this weekend, we want to send special condolences out to the family of Specialist Christopher R. Barton of Harrisburg, North Carolina, the city right next to this racetrack. He died on Monday fighting for our freedom in Afghanistan, just another one of the men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice so we can come to the racetrack and enjoy our time here every weekend of the NASCAR Series. Many people know Bud Moore as a fierce competitor on the racetrack, but he was also one of the many men who stormed the beach at Normandy so long ago, and that had major impact on what Bud Moore became.
We didn't really know we was going to be in on the D-Day landing until they came aboard on our landing craft on June the 4th. And the morning it happened, we were between the shoreline and all the battle wagons and stuff. And when them battle wagons opened up with all the artillery and everything, they were blasting. And we could sitting out there just see everything was going on. And they were just blowing the shoreline all to pieces. I mean, it was just stuff flying every which way and all of the artillery and stuff that they were doing. And we all turned around and talked to one and said, this is going to be a piece of cake. We ain't got nothing to worry about. Said, there can't be nobody alive over there. How well we were wrong. When we got going in, it was something. They had all the artillery they had was landing out into the water, maybe 100 yards or 150 yards before you get to the beach. And instead of just trying to drop a shell on one or two, you know, they're getting boatloads, you know, getting a landing craft, you know. And as we went in and the front went down, we supposed to have been in water probably about knee deep. We was in water up over around our neck. And I hadn't made 3 steps off of there, and I stepped in a shell hole and went under and this stuff, you know. Finally, I got out of that shell hole and got going again, and I didn't look no other way because in all our basic training and everything they told us, you know, and what we're doing and everything is get out of that water and get across that beach. Here I am, just turned 19 years old and couldn't believe it, what was going on and how people was losing their lives and things was being blown up and all this stuff. It was something. We live from day to day. It's just one of those situations, you know, you just say, well, we made it today or we're gonna make it tomorrow. Anyway, I think the good Lord was with me the whole time was there for me to, what I went through and how I went through and how I got through and all this, and it was just something, that's all there was to it. And I left there with 5 Purple Hearts and 2 Bronze Stars and all the other medals and stuff, and I still remember the day coming back, got on that boat in Le Havre, France, and I looked up to the good Lord and I said, Lord, you got me this far. I got 5,000 miles of water to cross. Now, if you just get me back, I promise you one thing, I won't be back. And I never went back because I left too many friends over there, and I just feel like it wouldn't be good for me to go back. I had nightmares over this thing for quite a few years, and that was something to go through and all the stuff that we did do over that part. So I just don't want to bring too many memories back. I try to not remember no more than I have to about him.
Yeah, you know, I knew Bud a long time before I ever heard that story. And I'm very blessed to be sitting here with Kenny Wallace and with John Roberts and all the people and all the fans behind us. But Bud Moore is an incredible individual. And that's what this day is all about. We can talk about racing all we want to. We can talk about all this other stuff. But guys like Bud Moore and guys that we talk about day to day here and that we lose, that give the ultimate sacrifice is what Memorial Day is all about. God bless Bud Moore. He's a great owner, but a great man.
For more on the military presence here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, let's go inside to Hermie Sadler.
Well, you're right, guys. And this race, Memorial Day weekend, is all about great stories. And John Howell, I was reading your story this morning, and those of you, no way we can tell the whole story right here on this show, but basically Rick Hendrick made a way for you to get back here originally in 2007 when you were trying to get back to Charlotte from Texas after being injured and all that. Tell us a little bit about that and your involvement in today's race.
Well, I was injured in September 2007, and I was discharged in December 2007. And at one point, my wife said in her article in the Charlotte Observer she didn't have a way to get me home for Christmas. And the day I discharged, Mr. Hendrick had an incredible Honda Odyssey van from one of his auto dealerships there, brand new, ready to pick me up, take me home. You know, gave it to us out of his own good heart. Was something that he and his wife did just for them. And I tell you, it's just a wonderful example of how incredible you know, the NASCAR folks are here.
And you got a lot of pressure on you today. You're actually going to sing the national anthem today You're following up Taps and Amazing Grace and a lot of stuff. You got a lot of pressure. You have done some singing before, though. You gonna be able to deliver for us today?
I hope so. I think so. I'm gonna, put all that Army training and that past opera training that I had at North Carolina School of the Arts together, and I'm gonna give it my best shot. I mean, I'm gonna honor every single fan and every single fallen soldier, and hopefully all those wounded soldiers out there too.
And I tell you what, another part of his story, I read about Dale Earnhardt crashed in qualifying here years ago. John actually was working here at the Speedway, standing at the fence, and Dale Earnhardt went up and spoke to him right after crashing his race car. So those kind of stories is what today is all about. Look for John today singing the national anthem. Wendy?
Thanks, Hermie. On Memorial Day weekend, we have a lot of special paint schemes, but several drivers here with me right now are running some pretty cool ones. Casey, you have the Armed Forces paint scheme. How much of an honor is this for you, because you have a very good race car and a chance to get into victory lane?
Yeah, I mean, to have the Armed Forces car, red camo Budweiser car on Memorial Day in the 600, to me it's a privilege. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to try to win the race, try to make the car look good, and we're doing it for everybody that's fought so hard for all of us. So it's just really an honor to be able to drive this car today.
Well, thanks. And your teammate Elliott Sadler has a very cool the U.S. Air Force paint scheme today. How neat is it, because you have a lot of special guests with you today?
We definitely do, and it's such a special weekend, and it's such a time to remember and honor the men and women that have served our country, not only years past, but are serving it here today, to be able to make it where we can race and share Memorial Weekend with our family here racing in Coca-Cola 600. So it's great to have the U.S. Air Force on board with us, and they protect a lot of men and women by keeping the skies nice and safe for us. So beautiful paint scheme, a great night, and a lot of special guests here with us too. So it should be a great fun race for us.
And one of those special guests is General Norton Schwartz. Now, General, have you been to many NASCAR events, and have you got a chance to look around and take it all in yet?
Indeed. Susie and I have been to 4 or 5 races over the years, and Susie's really the NASCAR fan. It's a treat to be here, especially with these role models here, both Elliott and Casey, and that they're driving in cars that represent the armed forces and, importantly, those who serve.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us on race day. And Casey, you have a pretty cool day because you have been busy. We have a lot of guests, but we also had a lot of celebrities. Talk about your tour that you did earlier.
Yeah, it's been a good day. I met Jessica Biel and Bradley. Showed them around the trailer. Just kind of went through it and stuff. It was pretty cool. They were actually really, really nice, really, really good people. So I've been a big fan of theirs, and I think it's pretty cool that they come out to the 600 today.
All right, cool. Well, good luck tonight, and we'll see if Rutledge Wood has the same opinion of those celebrities. Rutledge?
We are lucky enough to get some great celebrities here on NASCAR Race Day, and today we've got 2 from the new A-Team movie. We've got Jessica Biel and Bradley Cooper, and you are a Speed a fan vicariously through your sister.
Holly Cooper, a little shout out to Holly.
She's in Wilmington?
Wilmington, North Carolina. That is he really got in there.
We like close-ups here. All right, so since it's close on you, new A-Team's coming out. It's one of my favorite shows from the 80s. You're playing face. I assume that you saw the show growing up. Was there any pressure to play such a great role?
Well, there's always a pressure to do a movie, well. No, we had a ball. I loved playing face, and ultimately because Joe Carnahan was the director, and he's just can't get any better.
Now, you guys have gotten to act together before. Valentine's Day was a great move. Jessica, you've been in so many different things. You kind of played a woman, a scorned woman, I guess we could say, a former love interest of Face, and it seems like you might have done the crazy ex-girlfriend, I'm mad at everybody, went after him in the movie. Is that semi-accurate?
Absolutely not. No. You really yeah. You went for it.
I love the trailer. I'm excited.
I think, well, our characters, in the beginning are definitely, I feel like I'm right. He feels like he is right. We both feel slightly scorned in our own way.
We never had closure.
But listen, it's not personal. It's just I had to tell them don't do this, and they went ahead and did it anyway. So I have
it's just standard ex-girlfriend get your crap out of my house and let's not talk again until you do something wrong.
That's right.
That's
That's
totally
right.
fair. All right, so Bradley, you've been in some amazing comedies. Everybody loved The Hangover, Wedding Crashers, my favorite Wet Hot American Summer. I want to know, for you getting to play something so different in the action role, how did you like being in the A-Team?
I loved it. It was, as a kid, it was my sort of dream to do all that kind of stuff and, you know, shoot guns and fight. And then you get to do it with Liam Neeson, and it's ridiculous. And then, you know, with Jesse and Rampage, and it was amazing. It was, you know, very lucky to have gotten the role.
Well, we have a lot of love on this show on NASCAR Race Day, and we just want to thank you guys for coming by. It's kind of customarily we end every interview with a hug, so.
Oh, we're gonna hug it out.
Oh, you know what? No, you're right. I should give Jessica a hug too. What a great time. Go see A-Team. These two are fantastic.
I was concerned momentarily about that.
I'm in love with Jessica Biel.
Where you going, Kenny?
I'm going to see Jessica Biel
Where?
right now.
Still got some show left.
Man, she's beautiful. I love her.
Well,
I'm going
we lost
to see
Kenny
her.
Wallace. But
Outta
you know
here.
what? When we come back,
I love her.
We got
I
a
love
story you want to
Jessica
see. It's a
Biel.
little bit of
She's my
backstory on
baby.
Dale Earnhardt, the Intimidator. Stick around. Kannapolis, North Carolina is also known as K-Town, sits in Cabarrus, Mecklenburg, and Rowan counties, home to over 40,000 people, but it is also home of 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt Plaza was recently dedicated as a tribute to their hometown hero, and nobody could battle back from an early race deficit like the Intimidator, and that's exactly what he did in the early 90s here at the Coke 600.
We're set for a beginning to 400 laps, 600 miles of stock car racing today, and the 34th annual Coca-Cola 600 is underway. Here's Earnhardt coming in car number 3.
They're going to give Earnhardt a 15-second penalty for coming down pit road too fast. We just got a message from NASCAR. They're going to hold him. You see the guy with the white clothes on with a red hat? He's holding 15 seconds. There he goes. So that puts him a lap down.
Before the lucky dog, you had to earn your way back on the lead lap by passing the leader. And then, when you catch one caution, you make one lap up, guess where you're starting? You're starting in the back. So you got to pass everybody to get up there to battle the leader again. So you need multiple cautions in order to accomplish this.
Earnhardt in that number 3 car. Again, 15 seconds down to the leader, still trying to move around Greg Sachs in 16th spot. Oh, Greg Sachs getting tagged. He comes right in front of car number 3, Dale Earnhardt, who brings out a caution here.
He took Greg out, he got the caution. He got exactly what he wanted, and he caused the caution. And that still goes on today, to some degree. I mean, there's somebody that wants to get a caution and can do that.
They're holding Earnhardt.
1 lap penalty on Earnhardt.
Well, this team is absolutely irate. Earnhardt came over the radio, guys. He said he never touched him. So I don't know what the camera can see from there, but Earnhardt swears he never touched him. Now, we got to wait and see if Earnhardt can get back out front here on a restart and catch a caution, but Earnhardt is definitely upset.
And so is Richard Childress.
Yeah, I was pretty upset about it, but back in the day, I guess if they wanted to make the penalty and give you a hard time that day, that was our thinking anyway, and I think they thought that he brought the caution out or for whatever reason, and I think he just took the hair off the car in front of him.
Judge for yourself.
I'm pretty sure he did run into him. I think he did.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it. We had a different story.
Nobody was better ever in this sport at getting up behind somebody at the right position in the corner and getting that guy out of the way. He didn't have to wreck you to do it. He did not have to wreck you to do it, and he didn't a lot of times. But he moved you. He was coming to the front.
Dale Earnhardt was the Intimidator. He's wrecked people before and never even hit them. They look up in the mirror and see it's Earnhardt coming and spin out. He did nothing wrong. You're there right here real close, right behind the hospital, right there when you need to see what's going on. It's hard to tell.
Even back in '93, we didn't have 30 cameras on the race. You had, a dozen, and so you may not have caught, on tape whether Earnhardt took him out or not.
Well, they just said that rough driving, Dale hit him. You're out there racing. Everybody's getting loose. You got 40, 50 laps on your tires. Somebody gets a little loose, and that's just racing. What can you say? We just got to try to win the race. I think we can still win it.
7th caution of the day is the break that Earnhardt needs.
3 car, got that lap back. We never gave up. Dale Earnhardt never gave up as a race car driver, and we never gave up and been on that pit crew.
What a contest for the lead.
About 3 abreast off turn 4.
They go inside and outside of Martin. It's Earnhardt in front.
That was typical Dale Earnhardt, and we kept making up laps. I mean, we had that good a car that day, and Dale could get around Charlotte.
You penalize him a lap, and you might just as well stick your mitt in a beehive.
He's still pacing himself wide open. That's the way he paces.
What can you say about the things that Dale Earnhardt did, including that day? I mean, he proved to everybody that you can't keep a bad son of a gun down.
Back to the line comes Earnhardt to win it. What happened up there with you and Greg Sachs?
Well, I really didn't get into him. I don't know why they penalized me. He got loose in the air and spun out. I was just close,
With Dale Earnhardt behind the wheel, you never give up. And this team, you know, I just kept telling everybody, be cool. We got time to win the race, and we got the car, and I knew we had the driver, you know. Dale Earnhardt will go down in history as probably the greatest race driver. And I know he is in my book.
I think for the existence of NASCAR, as long as NASCAR's around, we will always say the greatest driver of all time with raw talent is Dale Earnhardt. He entered the corners much faster. He slid through the middle. And I can tell you, it is true what Chocolate Myers says. When Earnhardt was behind you, too many drivers did this. Whoop, they wrecked because they were looking in the mirror. He taught me a lesson, and it was this. I can either move you or you can move out of the way, but just don't block me. So don't ever block Dale Earnhardt, and I think everybody always remember that. Don't block him.
And like he said, Dale never gave up. You know, Dale never gave up on anything. Only 2 drivers know what happened. Sachs and Earnhardt, okay? It's kind of like the Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch thing. Only 2 drivers really know what happened over there, those 2 guys. But I'm gonna tell you something. He's one of those guys and was one of those guys. You get him a couple lap down, he's gonna kick your butt. And you know who's like that today? Kyle Busch. Like it or not, you make him mad, he's gonna kick your butt.
So on that day at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the second-place driver was a budding star in NASCAR by the name of Jeff Gordon. And this week, Jeff Gordon and his foundation put on their annual Ultimate Speed go-kart event at Victory Lane Karting on Wednesday. And what a great fun event.
Who's that?
I don't know who that is. Well, the guy on the left is Jeff Gordon. And there is Kenna Wallace, race car driver.
Race face, too.
Hey, this
Race
is some of
face.
the best go-kart racers in the country came here. Look at Kenna.
You know what? This is incredible. Jeff said, come have a good time. 100 go-karts. I qualified 10th, finished 6th.
What'd you finish, baby? 6th.
Finished
That's it.
6th, but Jeff said this has got out of hand. Kart champions from all over the United States, and we raised what, JR, over $200,000?
Over $250,000 for the Jeff Gordon Children's Hospital. Going to buy a new cardiac monitor. This young lady, 15-year-old Jessica Dana from Washington State, won the thing.
Was Johnny there?
JR, he was a starting park.
Starting park at the Jeff Gordon Foundation. Johnny, starting park, Jeff Gordon
I
Foundation.
started
Give
in
it up,
parks.
baby. Give it up.
Hey, my go-kart. Hey, they say heavy people shouldn't try to race go-karts. So that's why I parked the thing. Hey, we got some news about Juan Pablo Montoya when we come back. Stick
Juan
around.
Pablo Montoya.
Next week, racing's most underrated shape goes front and center as the boys head to the hills of Pennsylvania to take a slide down the Scaly. Who gets the inside angle to Victory Lane? Live from Pocono, NASCAR Race Day, built by the Home Depot.
After the checkered flag is waved, be sure to check out NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco, and catch all of the race highlights and raw emotion straight from Victory Lane. Also, go to speedtv.com, keyword Sunoco, to enter for your chance to win an autographed flag signed by the winner of today's race. Now, why would you think that the number 48 team has a good chance of being that winner tonight? Well, they have put together 6 wins at this track, 3 at this event, so nobody better to go to for our Sunoco pit strategy of the week than the Chad Canucks.
Well, as we know, preparation will definitely be the key this weekend. The drivers have to be prepared because they have to be physically fit, they have to be hydrated, and they have to be well rested to go 600 miles around Charlotte Motor Speedway. But from a team aspect, it's way more difficult. We're going to have to worry about going from the evening hours through dusk into the late night hours of nighttime here in Charlotte. So it's very, very difficult. One thing we have as an advantage this weekend is we have the All-Star race that we ran last week. When that race ended is about the same time that the 600 is going to end. So you're going to have a pretty good idea of what the track temperature and the track conditions are going to be like, as long as we don't get a huge temperature swing, which I don't think we're going to have. You go about 55 to maybe 58 laps on a Sunoco fuel run, but as we saw last week in the All-Star event, pit strategy is going to be crucial. A lot of guys taking 2 tires, a lot of guys taking 4 tires and coming from the back up towards the front. It's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out come the short runs that we typically have at the end of this race. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a long race, so get your popcorn, boys. It's going to be exciting.
Hey, this race always exceeds expectations. It's a great place to see a first-time winner, but one guy who cannot be a first-time winner here is Kasey Kahne. He's won 3 times at this racetrack before, so what a better guy than Kahne to take a lap around here with. Drivers, take your wheels.
And Kasey Kahne is one of the best at running the high line. Here he is, right down on the white line, through turns 1 and 2, one of my favorite corners in all of auto racing. Down the back straightaway, Kyle.
And remember how this racetrack used to be? You used to have to run right on the white line through 1 and 2 and up next to the wall in 3 and 4 to make any time. You see Earnhardt do it. You see everybody. But, you know, we've heard Jimmy say it. You talked about it. And you were out here racing yesterday. You know more about it than I do. The point is the racetrack has changed so much. The groove's all over the racetrack.
It's a very groovy racetrack. Kind of fun saying that. But this is the perfect line right now that Kasey is running. Very, you know, normal line down the back straightaway. Here we are. Let's listen to the throttle. People like to listen.
And the amazing part of us, listen to how long he's out of the gas. He's running good times, but listen to how long he's out of the gas.
That is the biggest surprise in all of auto racing. When you're watching TV, you're like, oh my God, they're running so fast. These car motors are creating over 800 horsepower. Let off the gas, don't use much braking, just roll, Johnny, roll, baby.
And true confession time. Usually sometimes when drivers get on the air, you know, they'll say, oh, this is a great racetrack, I love it, just because we're at a certain racetrack. Well, off the air, Kenny Wallace said, this is a great racetrack, I love it. So he's not faking
it is. You know what? I know we're having fun, but it is. People say, Kenny Wallace, what's your favorite racetrack? I always say the next one, but then I say I really like Charlotte.
Yeah. And Hermie Sadler likes Charlotte a lot, too. He knows how to get around this place. What's happening, Hermie?
Yeah, just to add a little bit, you heard Kyle and Kenny talking about the different grooves of this racetrack. Guys use the bottom, the middle, or the top. And a couple things the fans at home need to remember as to maybe why we're seeing drivers drive different grooves on the racetrack. Number one, a gear rule. The rear end gear that the teams run now to determine how many RPMs the engine turns, well, NASCAR now dictates that. In years past, you could put as much gear in that car as you wanted to turn more RPM. So when you run the bottom of the racetrack, it's a shorter radius. You turn the steering wheel farther. You slow the car down more. You need more launch off the corner. Well, with the new gear rule, you don't have as much gear to launch you off the corner. So therefore, you run a higher groove around the top of the racetrack to keep your momentum up and keep the RPMs up. And another theory some of the drivers will, believe a little bit with this car. This is a higher center of gravity car, a little bit top heavy, kind of like an SUV as compared to a sports car. Well, a taller wheelbase car that's a little bit top heavy, you make a sharper curve with it, it doesn't handle quite as good. This car is better with a long radius corner around the top. You don't have to turn the steering wheel as far and don't have to get that car off balance. So what this has forced the drivers and teams to do is find different lines on the racetrack and force the driver who used to like just the bottom to be open-minded and go to the top when you have to, Johnny.
And Hermie, we're talking about 400 laps, 600 miles around this racetrack tonight. It is going to be a show. It's going to be a long one, and it's always going to have a twist and a turn at the end. We'll be back with much more NASCAR Race Day built by the Home Depot from the Charlotte Motor Speedway in just a moment.
NASCAR Race Day is built by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Brought to you in part by Tornadoes. Bold is how we roll. And by the AARP Auto and Home Insurance Program from the Hartford.
McMurray sees Dale Earnhardt Jr. behind, coming down to the line to the side of the Daytona 500. McMurray will get it. He will win the 52nd running of the Daytona 500.
Career win number 50. It will be his first victory on the high banks of Bristol Motor Speedway as Jimmy Johnson claims the Food City 500.
We did it, boys, finally! Woo!
He's been into the wall tonight. He's been to the front of the pack, back and front again. Kurt Busch looking for $1 million payday.
Bring it to the line, Big Daddy. Awesome work. Kurt Busch gets the victory and $1 million. Kurt Busch is still in top. Way to go, boys! Woo! $1 million coolers, baby! Woo!
We have seen a lot of great moments so far this year, but let's go back to February 14th, the Daytona 500. Chip Ganassi is the winning car owner. Now let's fast forward to today at Indianapolis. Dario Franchitti gets his second victory in the Indy 500, and that makes Chip Ganassi the first owner to win the 500 and the Daytona 500 and the Indianapolis 500 in the same year. Now, there's a chance for Chip Ganassi to pull off another double that no driver or no owner has done before, is win the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 in the same day. He's got two great race cars tonight, the one of Jamie McMurray and the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya, so it could conceivably happen. Wendy?
Thanks, Johnny. Congratulations to Dario Franchitti. It's been a busy day here on NASCAR Race Day, so we haven't seen the finish, but it's cool to see those highlights. And keep in mind, Bruton Smith told me last week, I know there's all kinds of pre-race action going on. Bruton Smith told me last week for next year's Indy 500 and Coke 600 that if you win both, $20 million on the line to race both, and it logistically will be possible come next year, Hermie. That'll be cool.
$20 million to get anybody's attention, but this race is difficult enough alone to win, as well as Indianapolis. So if anybody can pull that off, they deserve $20 million.
Now, I know it's been a while since we actually had points. It was Dover 2 weeks ago. Take a look at how they come into Charlotte Motor Speedway for tonight. And Harvick, of course, is that leader, and Kyle Busch picked up some spots, but Martin Truex in the top 12 right now.
Yeah, outside the top 12. Also, Ryan Newman, Tony Stewart, both of those guys right on the outside looking in. We talked about Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jamie McMurray, Daytona 500 winner, wants to get back up there. Logano, Montoya, and David Rudiman ran at the top 20, Wendy.
And I think we'll see Ryan Newman move up in points as well, but a lot going on, and that we've learned a lot during this show, Johnny. Plus, now all the pre-race action has started. Hermie and we have things blowing up right next to us. It's pretty loud, but it's really cool and really exciting.
I just really hope they don't blow up Wendy and Hermie. Let's not do that today.
Sure,
Okay?
not today.
For later on. But anyway, if you want to know just how early it is in the season, or if it's never too early in the season to start talking about points, just ask a driver or owner where they stand right now, and they'll tell you compared to the top 12 in points. They want to be in there, and they're looking at it now, even after just 12 races.
We're halfway through the year for the chase for the championship. 13 down after tonight, 13 more to go to decide who the top 12 will be, Kyle.
Yeah, no, and look, this is where, you know, the rubber hits the road. I'm telling you, these guys have got to perform these next 13 races to be inside that top 12. And there's guys only 40 and 50 points out, but there's guys only 40 and 50 points in, so it's going to be tough. But I want to say congratulations, Chip Ganassi. I'm telling you, drivers get a lot of credit. Everybody gets credit. The owners are the guys that pay the bill, hires the people, and hire the drivers. That's a big accomplishment.
Now, sometimes you look at a win and you call it a driver's win. I think this win tonight is going to be a team win for whoever can pull it out, because the crew chiefs and the crew have to be on their A game all night as well.
Casey Mears won the Coke 600 on gas mileage. Kyle Petty finished third that night, right?
God, yes. What happened?
Third that night. Joey Logano won on gas last year at Loudon. It can become a gas mileage race. Hang on.
And also, this is one of NASCAR's probably biggest 4 events, the Coke 600. It is the longest race of the season, and it happens in the backyard of most of these race teams. Not only is there a big paycheck, a lot of points on the line, but a lot of bragging rights as well for some of these hometown heroes in their own backyard. Let us once again salute the American men and women in the armed forces who gave the ultimate sacrifice on this Memorial Day weekend as the patriotic show continues here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We remind you, join us tonight on Speed for NASCAR Victory Lane, fueled by Sunoco. Thanks for coming along for the ride, everybody, and we'll see you tonight in Victory Lane.